That may explain where you've been for all of this time, but there's still a few things I'd like to know. For starters, where in the world did you get that absurd-looking outfit?
It's the latest fashion on planet Yardred, but I guess it does look a little strange. But at least it's not pink.
Never mind! Who cares about your stupid clothes anyway? Fight you? No, I want to kill you.
Hey, Andreas, Pablo, thank you for coming on the podcast, man. How's it going?
It's going good, it's going good. I think that's a good way to start it, like a throwback clip, a funny one.
Oh, it's classic, man. You know, DragonBall Z, you know,
Yeah, exactly.
growing up with that shit, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, how's things been, man? How's the week been for you?
It's been good. I've been working for Ping Zero at Armageddon this year in Auckland, and we were doing like a bunch of like fun gaming stuff, so I looked after the Smash area, so I was kind of like a brand ambassador for Ping Zero, where I'd advertise like, oh, these guys do gaming, like we bring the gaming to you, and so I'd watch over the Smash. You'd have like, the cool thing about Smash is it's not only like towards one age demographic, it's for everyone. So you'd have the kids and people like my age or older just jam, and there's always beef when you see people keep jumping on. So that was fun, and we had Just Dance. Like, it was fun. It was a good weekend. It was filled with lots of stuff, but it was fun.
Yeah, I did hear a lot of people saying that they were like Armageddon this year, because a lot of the international like talent and brands can come through. It was mainly about endorsing New Zealand projects, New Zealand brands.
Yeah.
Did you feel that it accomplished it?
I guess sort of. The thing that felt a bit different this year with Armageddon is a lot of the big name brands like PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, Razer, even Logitech, they couldn't go. And what I believe is the reason is they don't want to be associated with an event during a pandemic in the US. It would just give them a lot of misconceptions and misunderstandings.
Yeah.
So I think there was a fair bit more focus on New Zealand artists, but I think apart from Ping Zero, I couldn't really see much else.
Yeah.
It was a lot more quieter this year, that's for sure. Yeah.
Did you still get your goodies, your little tokens, any relics and stuff?
So here's my gripe with Armageddon. Every year at Armageddon, you walk through the door, you get a bag. You get a bag, it gives you like noodles. You get noodles.
Yeah.
It's like a pack of Mega Ring noodles. This year, when I went, because I went to work and I went one day with friends. When I went with friends, I didn't get a goodie bag. I didn't get no Mega Ring noodles. And that was a deal breaker, at least for me. You know?
Okay, so even at the door, you're just like, oh, okay. Yeah, it definitely ain't the same.
Yeah, I knew it was fucked.
Shit,
the door.
Man.
No, it was still fun.
No, that's good, man.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, kind of sidetracked there, but that's all good. Give us a brief rundown about who you are and, what you're all about.
Cool. So, my name is Idris, as you guys know. People call me Pablo. I am in a university club called UOA eSports, and what I do is I run fighting game tournaments over there. And so, like, obviously with COVID, plans changed, but what we've done this year was we tried to run as many weekly fighting game tournaments as possible, and we focused on Dragon Ball Fighters and Tekken 7 because that was what most people in the club played. I think that's it. I've also been competing in locals this year when I can, and I've been helping StandingFierce use Auckland University buildings to host their Rambats as well.
Yeah, that was cool, man. I remember that brief period when lockdown was still an issue to secure venues. Brief, thank you for hosting us, man.
No, it was so much fun. I actually found it, like, it was really exciting just to have everyone come, I guess, to one area. And I always thought that if we had fighting games in these rooms with monitors everywhere, that it would like elevate the experience. And I hope that the experience was elevated for the short period of time that it happened.
Mm-hmm. Had there been a big player or fan base for Dragon Ball or the Tekken series before the kind of formation of the players at the university started?
Yes, so when I asked the president, her name is Mother Esports, in the club if I could do fighting games, she said that there was always a demand for fighting game stuff, but they just didn't have any staff who was experienced in fighting games. So I think there was a sort of relief from them when there was someone that pulled up that didn't know how to play fighting games to some degree. Whether Dragon Ball or Tekken was the most popular game in the previous years, I probably couldn't tell you because everyone's graduating and there's always new members coming in and members leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so who comprised of this initiative trying to start the club? So there's you. Were there any other key players, key members?
So how it started was I joined the club this year because I joined this club every year, to be honest, but the previous years I wasn't very involved with whatever they were doing because I was always busy. I was always in my own little world. Like, you're a university student, you have a lot of anxiety, you want to do well. But this year, my friend peer pressured me to go to like a meetup, it's like a first thing in the year, all the members come together, meet up, like vibe, play Smash games, And I saw Ghost Chips in the Discord chat. He's like, "Oh, hi guys, I'm a first year engineering student. I'm really good at Street Fighter. If you guys want to learn how to play, like hit me up." And I was like, "Oh, yo, like I've had Street Fighter since I was a fucking fetus. Like I'm down to learn." Yeah, and so I met him, and then he told me to go locals because I was always interested in going locals. And I joined the StandingFierce Discord, and there was so many channels that I was overwhelmed. I was like, fuck, I'm never gonna go here again. I like feel so out of place. But I think knowing someone that went, sort of, like as acquaintances, really helped. And then I think after I went to my first Rambat at StandingFierce, Dave was really nice enough to just let me watch because I had no clue. I was so shy.
Yeah.
Like, I felt so overwhelmed by just all the setups and everyone playing. And after I watched, lockdown happened. And then during lockdown, I was like, fuck it, let's just do like an online series. And so, yeah, it was largely in part because of Ghost Chips showing me like what New Zealand has to offer for fighting games.
That's probably the best person to help you get into the scene, because everyone adores Ghost Chips, and if he's like, "Oh, I've got a friend with me," they would have just been like, "Hey, man, whatever you need, we got you."
Yeah, no, I'm really grateful to him for that, and because I still didn't have that much experience playing fighting games, he was more than happy to just become like a TO, sort of like he would do the brackets, and I would just shoutcast and stream it.
Yeah,
and that took a big portion of the workload off me because I just didn't know how to do it properly.
Yeah.
And like now that I have an idea of how to do it, like I still really appreciated his help. I probably wouldn't have been able to do it without him.
Yeah. And then you playing and somewhat competing as well, heading into nationals this year. Now, did you actually have a game plan, or did you just thought, "Oh, I'm just going to go and have fun"?
I just went to go and have fun. I knew that I like the knowledge I have is not sufficient enough to compete like at a top level, but I had a lot of fun playing Dragon Ball because there's never really been a Dragon Ball Rambat, at least the ones I've been to.
Yeah.
So going and playing Dragon Ball like was really exciting. One regret I have is not practicing like 1 week or 2 weeks before Nats, and that was because Genshin Impact came out, so I was just playing Genshin Impact 24/7.
I keep hearing stuff about that game, man.
Game's addicting, man. It ruins your life.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was so much fun. I enjoyed it. I'd probably go again next year.
So when you turned up to nationals and you get your lanyard and you kind of walk in, obviously we've had better circumstances with player turnout and kind of venue presentation. But when you walked in that room, that theater, how did the nerves kick in right away, or did they kick in during your first match?
I didn't get any nerves. When I walked in, I was like, this is so fucking cool. Because like I've never experienced anything like it before. Like the closest thing is Armageddon. And then I thought it was amazing. And it helped that because UOA eSports was more than happy to fund Tiny Josh's entry. And also that just helped me out a lot as well, having someone next to me who's been to these events a lot
Yeah.
and was like encouraging me. He was encouraging me a lot. Tiny Josh 99. He really helped out, and yeah, it was just there was no nerves. I think the nerves only kicked in once I played in top 8 because there's a stage, there's bleachers, and yeah, that's where it really hit.
Yeah. Well, talk us through your experience, because you're facing Isaac from DC, a really renowned player who specializes in this kind of madness games like Dragon Ball,
Right.
Marvel. And I can see you having fun there, but like, what were your thoughts at this point?
I was like kind of thinking of a plan because when I saw Team Gohan, I was like, okay, this guy's gonna use assist pressure. He's gonna use EX legs to keep me in the corner. I cannot mash against him. And so my plan was to just stay calm going into it, but I was still really nervous. And I think the plan didn't work out because I gave him too much respect. And I remember Ghost Chips telling me, if you respect someone too much, you've already lost. So yeah, that was my thought process going into it. But you can see I got mixed up. He did legs again. I pushed a button, so I wasn't even listening to my own self. Like, the nerves were really kicking in. Like, I knew what I needed to do, but I couldn't listen to myself because I was so nervous.
Yeah. Would you see that team quite often? Team Gohan, Piccolo, and Tien?
You would see Team Gohan quite a fair bit online, but I don't think I've versed any Piccolo players from UOA eSports. They're mostly in Australia. I think there's an Australian player who plays a ton of Piccolo. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's it. But even though I was nervous, that doesn't take away from the fact that Isaac's just a really damn good player. Like, he's so good, man.
Yeah.
Respect to Isaac. Yeah.
I wanted to listen a lot to the commentary when he was playing Dragon Ball and Marvel, and yeah, he will literally, like, the way they were saying was, he's that player where if it's working, he'll keep doing it, like a move or whatever,
Right.
but then once it stops working, he's going to pull back and he'll wait for that moment where you're not ready, and he'll pull it out, and it'll just be at that crucial moment, and he'll get that comeback.
Yeah, there was a moment in the series, not the first match, but the second match, where he got a sliding knockdown, and I was like, I'm gonna wake up level 3 the second he pushes a button. And I think it's a Street Fighter thing where you put one button, like the smallest frame button, and then you block, so that you block and you bait up level 3, and I fell for it. And that was the first time where I was like, damn, he's been setting up everything the entire series, and this is the first time he's done something like this. And then I think from there I lost in the second match, second game, yeah.
So who did you have to play to get in? Who did you defeat to get into top 8 to face Isaac?
I don't want to sound disrespectful, but I can't really remember their names just because I don't know anyone. Not because they're forgettable, but because I just don't know everyone just yet well enough in the FGC.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I did verse Blackout, who is also extremely, extremely strong, who put me in losers. And I've noticed the level of play between them and mine is like night and day. They're very good at being patient, playing really good neutral, and they're really good at using assists, whereas I'm not as good at using assists. Like, they use their assists really well to open up, to just cause openings, right? And create opportunities for themselves. Yeah. And I think even in this clip right now, you can see, like, I've been dropping all these combos. I was so nervous.
Yeah.
Holy. Yeah.
You know what? To your credit, though, you've done pretty well, because that is one thing you only get used to over time is playing on stream. It sounds so subtle, but it, like, tournament nerves, casual people don't understand, and even viewers don't understand, man. It fucks with your mind.
Yeah.
Especially when you're playing someone who can take you out, like, pretty convincing. Not convincingly, but when someone can make it look like it's pretty convincing,
Yeah.
Is there anything you would have done differently in the setup with Isaac?
I would have dropped Broly 100% because initially the reason why I picked up Broly was because there was a patch. There was a patch not too long before Nats, and I was really hoping that they would buff Goku Black. And the reason why is because Goku Black is probably arguably the worst character in the game. He just hasn't got any mix-up tools. But yeah, and my experience, like my gameplay with Broly, I didn't have as much experience as with him. I actually used to play base Goku.
Right,
But
okay.
I didn't have any synergy with base Goku and any of the other characters. Like I couldn't use the Spirit Bomb combo with any of my other level 1 abilities with these other characters.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck, I'm gonna learn Broly. Broly looks cool.
I know.
And I just
Sorry, bro. You go.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I just didn't have enough experience with Super Broly. So
Okay.
yeah.
Because I know a few terms of how they classify the fighters, like like whether they're a battery or an assist. So
Yeah.
Goku Black, is he what is he exactly, and is that why he struggles?
I think like when you think of Dragon Ball, it used to be like Super Saiyan Goku in this game. Like there's always one character that they start like when you're designing a game, you always have one character. Like that's the ideal model, I think, of what characters should look like. And it used to be Super Saiyan Goku. But I think that has changed over time to be like Goku Black, where he's got a beam, he's got like good normals, but he doesn't have any mix-ups. And I think that's a really big problem in Dragon Ball, where when you put someone in the corner and you like right now in this clip, I got the knockdown, but I didn't even though I'm not playing Black. I think you'll see it later on in this clip where I have Black as my last character, but I couldn't do anything. Like,
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. I was so helpless. I woke up. This is what I was talking about as well. The bait, the level 3 bait.
Shit. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think Goku Black has an identity. He's not really. He doesn't excel at anything. He's just I think he's an honest character, like a very honest,
Like he's just
bare
too
bones
honest.
Dragon Ball character. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you could have swapped out, I know you said you would have swapped out Broly if things were different, but if you'd swapped out Goku Black for another character, what would have been your choice?
I don't really play that many other Dragon Ball characters. I guess if I wasn't playing Genshin like a dummy before Nats, I would have definitely put in the hours to learn Gogeta. I think Gogeta is really cool, and he's also really good at meter gain. I think. They gave him really good buffs, not too long before Nats, where his frames are a lot shorter than they used to be, so it doesn't feel very clunky to use anymore.
Yeah.
And there's a guy in UOA eSports who plays Gogeta who's also he like pretty much showed me how good the buffs were by rolling me for a good 3 hours.
Shit.
So yeah, if I had the discipline to like not play Genshin Impact, what I would do differently is play the game more, drop Goku Black, put in Gogeta, and practice Broly a lot more.
Hey, you know what, man? I'm not even giving you, I'm giving you credit, man. A lot of players, I'm sure, weren't putting in as much effort prior to Nats. They were either playing Among Us, Valorant. I know, Isaac might deny it, but he's been jamming Fortnite every now and then before Nats. Like, even then, he wasn't in, killer mode, but still, I wouldn't want to go up against him, man.
Right. Yeah. Nah, he's a really nice guy, because, after this whole set with Dragon Ball, once he knocked me out, I had to go to Street Fighter straight away. And then I wait for a bit. I'm like, I wonder who I'm gonna face. I look towards my right, and it's Isaac again. I'm like, oh, yo, nice to see you again. Yeah.
Man, he's been a part of some of the best moments of Nats this year. Yourself is consistent with that infamous comeback. Yeah, but that happens. You play Street Fighter. How did you do in Street Fighter 5?
Oh, I got knocked out straight away by Isaac. My Street Fighter is a lot worse than Dragon Ball, but I still had a lot of fun. I entered for fun, yeah.
And then you get knocked out, you're out of Dragon Ball, you're out of Street Fighter 5, just enjoying the event overall. How was that weekend for you?
It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed the trip to Hamilton, because I've always loved driving, and I've really enjoyed getting to know Tiny Josh 99, because I was the one who drove him there. And I think me supporting Tiny Josh, I supported you, I supported Ghost Chips. There's a guy named Tristan as well. I think he goes to Handbats a lot. Yeah, I supported him because he's really nice. I think you versed Tristan, right?
Yeah. He was my first match. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. I was like, damn, I don't know who to cheer for, so I'm just gonna start cheering randomly. But it's just, I think that kind of community was what I really enjoyed the most. That was the highlight. Just supporting all my mates, supporting Tiny Josh 99. He had a really big upset that day against what was his name? He went to winners because he knocked I can't remember the Tekken player's name, but he did really well. He won. He got top 8. It was just fun. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I will say
Yeah.
though, it was a very odd I mean, still great, but just with COVID,
Yeah.
and just a lot of key players who were there, a lot of key players were there, but I mean, it was still fun nonetheless. Now I'm just hoping that 2021 we can start off very fresh, and that First
Yeah.
Nationals just it's booming, man. It starts off strong.
Yep,
Yeah.
for sure.
Were you ever a fan of the Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Super series? Like, did you actually watch that show, not just play the game?
Yes, so I think Dragon Ball was the thing that got me into anime. I remember back in intermediate, I had a mate who was like, "Yo, you gotta watch Dragon Ball. You gotta watch it." And I was like, "All right, I'll watch Dragon Ball Z." And I watched like the first 5 episodes. And I was like, "Dude, look at the shit quality. Like, it's an old ass show. The voice lines are like they're all you can tell that the voice lines are old because it's like not clear."
Yeah.
But I watched, I think, after like the first 5 episodes, I got really into it, and that's when I became a huge Dragon Ball fan. Yeah. So I'd say I'm a very big Dragon Ball fan. I've watched Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, but we don't talk about that. And
I was going to ask you, are you that person? Do you support GT in any light?
Fuck no, this show's hot garbage. I remember when I finished watching it, and I was like, wow, what a shit ending. Like Goku just jumps on Shenron and flies away and says goodbye. And then I was like, alright, it's time to watch Dragon Ball Kai. And then I didn't realize that Dragon Ball Kai was just like a I don't know what it's called, like a remastered of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
So I watched like the first episode and I was like, oh, that's strange. It's literally the same as the first episode of Dragon Ball Z. And then I skimmed through episode 2 and 3 and I was like, oh, no fucking way. It's like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A very, very refreshed look. Cut down the steering montages and the moments where the characters are like, oh.
Yep. They did that.
I mean, I loved Dragon Ball Z, the 90s, like it being a anime in the 90s. I love that kind of old rock aesthetic that Dragon Ball Z had. And I mean, now you look at it, it doesn't look as clean and crisp, but yeah, I mean, it gave us one of the most iconic moments, man, the birth of the Super Saiyan. And I used to hate the old series because it would always play up until that point, and then it would restart back to the Raditz saga. I'm like, why are you doing this, man? Like, I skipped school early to get to this part, and now we're gonna go all the way back. Yep.
I think I've definitely, like, back then when I was a little like rat as a kid, I like didn't appreciate any like animation. Like I didn't understand how hard studios work. But like now that I'm a lot older, I can definitely appreciate like anime in this kind of style. I really liked there's a lot of different versions of Dragon Ball Z. If you watch it in sub, you won't get the Bruce Faulconer soundtrack. If you watch it in dub, you get the Bruce Faulconer soundtrack. And I think the Bruce Faulconer soundtrack made the anime like 200% better. Like the anime was already really good, but the soundtrack, like just the heavy metal like dubstep kind of music while Goku's like pummeling some stupid villain. Like that really made the show really good.
It had a somewhat like not darker tone, but the tone was just a lot more like it really felt like Clash of Titans, very serious. Whereas as it kind of went on, it kind of had a lot more humor, a lot of lighthearted moments. It embraced the humor with Goku and other characters of interest, like Vegeta and his wife, and I mean Chi-Chi. But then you get to Dragon Ball Super, where like it just looks, as you said, you know, the animation has really progressed. It took me a while to get into Dragon Ball Super. I won't lie, man. I think about 30 episodes. That's when I actually got one over. Was it the same for you?
I remember so the reason why Dragon Ball Super became a thing was because of the huge success in Resurrection F, what you're playing right now.
Yeah.
And I think it was Toei or Funimation, one of them realized that there's a big demand for Dragon Ball because it was one of the best-selling anime movies, I think, ever at the time. So they rushed to production and they rushed everything. They like gave their animators probably one of the worst schedules ever. And so I remember it was like one of the first 3 episodes where they decided to reanimate the movie and put it into the series to make it canon, where I was like, holy shit, this animation, like, it's hot garbage. And it's not because of the animators, like, they're all talented people. It's just the amount of time they were given per episode was shocking. Like they just didn't have time to do their job. And I think I was really close to dropping it. But because I was such a big fan of Dragon Ball back in intermediate, I think that was the only reason why I kept watching it. If I was to watch Dragon Ball and Super was my first ever show, I would have probably dissed the entire Dragon Ball franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite moment throughout the series? So you have a favorite moment for Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super?
I think my favorite moment in the original Dragon Ball was just the humor. It was very humor based, right? I think back when Goku was fighting the Red Ribbon Army as a little kid, that was a lot of fun. He destroyed them all, which had further implications in Z. What's my favorite moment in Z? I think I really enjoyed the Team Gohan versus Cell fight.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot of people would disagree because like everyone likes Goku, but I just really liked the whole Team Gohan being like a shy little kid and having to surpass his limits to like help everyone out. But it's a shame what they had to do to Team Gohan after that whole saga where they had to like pretty much nerf him.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had to nerf him, I think. Yeah.
It's all about that student
sad.
life. Too busy studying, man.
They butchered that character, man. And in Z, they like further emphasized. Oh, not in Z, in Super, they further emphasized how like dog shit Gohan is.
Yeah.
As a character, yeah.
I think I read somewhere that was a thing where like they loved the idealism of Goku, but then what you mentioned, passing it on to his son, being the future protector. I wish they could have maybe have carried that on rather than reinforcing this whole "don't worry, Goku's going to come to the rescue."
Yeah. I don't know what it was back then for them to decide not to, because it sounded like, at least in the Buu saga, you can see in the Buu saga where they tried to make Gohan relevant again by giving him like I can't remember what the mode was called. It was like Awakened or something.
Ultimate Gohan, yeah.
Yeah, Ultimate Gohan. Yeah, I thought they were going to bring him back into form, but it sounded like they didn't have a direction themselves, and that they were gauging from fans whether this is what they want. Because it sounded like there was this whole training arc of Gohan being awakened. Like it was like at least 25, 30 episodes of him being danced around by the old Kai.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just felt so unnecessary at the end of the saga. Same with Goten. Yeah, Goten.
Yeah.
Like Goten Trunks, like Gotenks. I don't know. I didn't understand that as well. Like it just felt so unnecessary. They were trying to go in a lot of different directions to try and please everyone, and then take the one where the fans are most happy about. Yeah.
And what was your super favorite moment?
I think my favorite super moment was when Vegeta was fighting Goku Black, and Goku Black was getting pummeled onto the ground. I think my favorite arc in Dragon Ball Super was the Goku Black arc.
Goku Black
Even
and Zamasu.
though-
Yeah.
Yep. Even though the animation wasn't that good, I just found that my most enjoyable arc. It just felt good to have a villain again. There wasn't really a villain in the entire series.
Yeah. I mean, you
except
can't
for
really
that,
count.
yeah.
I mean, you could count Frieza. I mean, there's Frieza, but he's an OG. We want the new.
Yeah.
Who's the new one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there was something else I wanted to briefly mention, man. Just off topic about the whole Twitch and the DMCA. Are you familiar with kind of what's happening right now? Like what's
Right.
been out there?
From my understanding, it's like you play music, and you get DMCA'd, yeah. Like you just lose the plot.
Literally.
Yeah.
So like, the general statement is it's going to be a lot stricter when it comes to playing music from artists on your channel. Any old videos could get taken down. It just means that if you're going to play copyrighted music, you might get in a bit of trouble in the sense that your videos won't be there anymore. And I mean, gaming, we love to play our own music. Do you have any comments on that?
I'm gonna be interested to see the implications of video games like, for example, GTA 5, where they have other artists' musics in their game. Let's say I'm playing GTA 5, I'm playing some song. I don't really play GTA 5, and then like, what's happening there? Am I gonna get DMCA'd? Like,
Yeah.
I'm interested to see that. I'm interested to see if the whole gaming industry will take this lying down, because I think everyone's definitely sick of it from YouTube. A lot of people from YouTube, like what's his name? Ryan Higa?
Ryan Higa. Yeah. Nigga Higa.
Yeah. he moved from YouTube to Twitch because he said that you have a lot more creative freedom on Twitch, and I agree. You do have a lot more creative freedom on Twitch.
Yeah.
It's also a lot more genuine as well because you got a live audience.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like the direction it's going in. It doesn't feel like they're taking into consideration. They're not giving creators tools to deal with fair use.
Yeah.
You get DMCA'd or you bend over and take it. Like, that's it.
Literally, yeah. There's no other.
Yeah.
You can't. Yeah. I only mention it because at Nationals, in between the breaks, we were actually playing normal music, and for a lot of us,
Right.
like the fighting game people, we love to play our own music in the background, fucking loud as horses.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
gonna be
yeah.
a big. And I mean, I wouldn't. You know, it's like as you said. You know, you put a 2-3 hour stream video and for just to disappear, and all you get is a quick notification. It's like, can I not argue this? Can I not dispute it? Can I just click a button saying up for review?
Yeah. I don't know. It just feels very, I guess, selfish from the music industry to consistently get in the way of fair use.
Yeah.
At least from my perspective, yeah.
I mean, because our argument could be that just because we're playing your song on our stream, we're not stealing money from you. If anything, we're promoting it in a way. But maybe they want validation as well. It's like we want to make sure that you're playing a song that's properly purchased. It's not just ripped off the internet. Hear about this, man. There was this guy called Herman Lee. I was just reading up about it. So this is a guy who's like a guitar player for a rock band, metal rock band or something called DragonBall Z. He got banned from stream for playing his own music.
Right, because he doesn't own
and that's
the
to do with and that's to do with the record label, not Twitch, but the record label. And I'm like, how the fuck do you how do you justify that?
Because he doesn't own the rights to his own songs. That's it. It's that simple. Yeah, it's really sad. I think Taylor Swift had a whole thing about it as well. Kanye as well. He wanted to buy back everyone's records. It just sounds like a mess.
Yeah. I mean, one answer could be that you play very, very, very heavily remixed songs of originals, but then you're kind of skewing that line, you know? Because I mean, remixes are in a way they aren't the original, but they're still based off the sample track. So, yeah.
My gripe with playing non-copyrighted free music. Let's take an example from Maximilian's YouTube channel. He used to use music, and he used to go to a place, and it would always be like Creative Commons, go for it. It's free use. What ended up happening to him was a lot of the audio he was using became copyrighted again, and then they started claiming his videos. Yeah. And obviously, like, the power isn't to the creator. It's never to the creator. It's to the people that hold those licenses, because that's what they care about the most. They are the people that can sue YouTube or sue Twitch. And, like, I don't know. I don't have much faith. Even in Twitch's own... Because what does Twitch have? They have their own music system now, right?
Yeah.
That's what they're offering creators. Like, I don't have any hope in that.
No.
But, yeah, I don't know. Things will probably change.
Just, in your opinion, do you think you might start using non-copyrighted music for UOA eSports streamed from here on, or will you just kind of see what's happening in landscape for now?
So for the fighting game streams, I don't actually use music because I want the clips for... I was going to make like a YouTube channel, but I never got around to it. And the Dragon Ball songs was fire enough, and the Tekken song is fire enough as well.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure what's going to happen to Valorant and League of Legends and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one concern I have with the other esports side, but we'll have to see how that works. It impacts our sponsor streams as well. Like, let's say we got sponsored by it was a cryptocurrency company who got sponsored. Let me just find the card.
Oh, cryptocurrency, sweet.
It's like a cryptocurrency wallet stream thing. Oh, I can't remember their name. No, that's not good. But we got sponsored by them, and we had to plug their name in a Valorant stream every so often.
Yeah.
And now, like, if we have those VODs, like, they're probably fucked now. It's got a bunch of like other songs on top of it. We can't show them it. Yeah.
Man, yeah. As you're right, you're right. It's just one. on top of many problems. I think a lot of people are saying they just need to restructure like the DMCA like law in general. Like they need to actually specify like how to go, like what's going to come about and how people can go to not to counteract, but to, because as you said, we can't just take this lying down,
Yeah, for sure. I think it's going to take a lot of legal action from someone with a lot of money who obviously cares. Like how H3H3 did the whole fair use thing with some other YouTuber. I think something like that has to happen again. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's very hard when you're going up against the music industry. Yeah.
And now, man, the uni life. So yeah, how's things, man? You've had a real messy year, and you know this, but it's like, how have you managed?
So first semester was good. I was obviously still really busy, but the reason why I thought it was good was because from the get-go we were all locked down. We knew from the get-go what was happening. There was no wishy-washy, no bullshit, no fucking around. It was just straight into it. This is what's going to happen for the rest of the semester. And I'm like, cool, like that's fine. Now I can prepare myself. There's no uncertainty. And even though I felt like the workload increased, the lecturers were a lot more understanding, at least for my degree, for computer science.
Yeah.
But coming into second semester, so the semester I'm in right now, there was so much like bullshit, pretty much, in my opinion.
Shit.
Yeah. So I go to the University of Auckland, obviously, and they're a good uni. Don't get me wrong. Like, the club system is great. The facilities we have access to is great. We definitely pride ourselves in where we are internationally, but this semester, like, we were never given like a full, this is what's gonna happen. It's like, we're in lockdown. You might go back next week, and then you'll have someone ask the question to Dawn Freshwater in the interview on TV, saying, University of Auckland is going back to uni like next week, and then you'll have not Dawn Freshwater. What's his name? Who's the guy's name on TV that does the
Who does the
COVID
Bloomfield.
updates?
Bloomfield.
Yeah, Bloomfield. You have someone ask Bloomfield saying, "Yo, University of Auckland going back next week. What are your thoughts?" And you have Bloomfield go, "Yo, they shouldn't be doing that." And then the university has to go wishy-washy, backtrack, like, sorry guys, it's actually the week after. And then you'll have like another period where we got COVID again. It's like, sorry guys, lockdown again. By the way, like, we don't know what's happening for exams. And then so I think all this uncertainty that we had to deal with really, at least for me, impacted my motivation. And this is coming from a lot of my friends as well. Like, we were not motivated at all this semester. Like, we could not, like, I can tell you for a fact, even though I felt really stressed, it was just so hard to stay motivated.
Yeah. Do you think, because of the lockdown situation, people at home not being able to study, you said demotivation, do you feel like there would have been some students that were so affected they don't want to continue the year or not go back next year?
I can, if COVID ramps up again in New Zealand, or let's say like we haven't got anywhere with like a COVID vaccination, I can see people taking a gap year. I can understand why.
Yeah.
Because it's really hard to stay committed to something when the routine is always changing. It's difficult. It's difficult, especially as a student, when I am paying, for example, I'm paying full price, student price of, I think, $900 per paper. I'm taking 4 papers every semester. And if I'm paying full price and I have access to, say, like half of what I'm supposed to be getting, like I'm not having access to like all the physical facilities.
Yeah.
It's hard to justify that cost as well.
Yeah.
What else is there to talk about? Okay, I'll bring up an interesting scenario. So I've brought up how Ghost Ships is first year engineering, right?
Yeah.
We are currently, what month is it now? It's October. In approximately 7 days, Ghost Ships will have to do his first ever written exam. He has never done an exam in university yet, because everything was online before. And so I think that shift in dynamic will really impact students who haven't necessarily got the experience of how to actually do an exam.
Yeah, how to actually do the student thing, yeah.
Yeah, how to become an actual student, because we've never really had that. I think what AUT did, which was they all had written assignments, like written reports, instead of going to exams. I think that was really good. And my reasoning for that is because written reports test your understanding of content a lot more thoroughly versus like simple yes or no multi-choice answered questions. Like, if you're gonna test me on something, you should test my understanding versus some basic calculations that I can rote learn a couple of hours before an exam.
That's very good, man. That's very good. Do you think I mean, was there a time where you thought Auckland Uni would kind of do something like that, or they were still trying to find their feet during this chaos?
First semester they were really kind. They were a lot more forgiving. So what happened was we had online exams and they were 24 hours. We had 24-hour online exams, which was really good. It gives us time to like deal with any problems we may encounter. Like, for example, we have a power cut, fuck it, go to a different house, that kind of thing, Well, the problem with 24-hour exams was there was a lot of students cheating. We had a big cheating shtick in the first half of the year. And so I think the university was very cautious and they didn't want that to happen again because it impacts their academic standing in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we also got one grade boundary boost. So let's say I finished a course in B+, I would get a boost and get an A- for that course. Yeah. And that was also really good. But once again, a lot of our grades that semester were inflated. Like, it was really high. And so I think this semester they were a lot more cautious on cheating.
Yeah.
And they were a lot more cautious on grade boosts. The only help I guess we got this semester was you needed 50% overall to pass a course. And if you get 47, they'll boost you. Anything from 47 to like 50, you will still get a pass.
Oh, good.
But that's the help we got, yeah.
Okay. And then the eSports club as well. How did that go during COVID, man?
Everything pretty much had to be online, and it really impacted fighting games because not everyone plays Tekken 7 and Dragon Ball. We've got other fighting games. We've got Street Fighter, we've got Mortal Kombat, we've got Guilty Gear, we've got Grand Blue. And initially the plan was for Ghost Chips and I to just like book a room every like Friday night or something. People can just come and jam. We'll have the two main games, Tekken and Dragon Ball, sorry. And then we'll run brackets for those, and then we'll have like one minor game set up, minor game will set up or rotate every week so that everyone has like a fair chance to play the game that they play at home. But with lockdown, it's a lot harder to do that because I can't run 3 games simultaneously just with me and Ghost Chips. So we really struggled with trying to give everyone what they wanted. But other than that, it was okay. We just made everything online.
Yeah.
It felt pretty bad to do like a big meetup because we had a big meetup and then lockdown.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we had like another big meetup. Like we had we have a student bar at the University of Auckland. And we had like a big Just Dance thing at the university bar. And all the University of Auckland eSports Club members would rock up and, would vibe, dance, and all that. And I think literally 1 week later, we got back into lockdown again. And it just felt bad.
Yeah.
We were just like, damn. Yeah. But I can understand why lockdown happened. Yeah.
It's so crazy looking back at how things used to be. Like, when I was in school, like, to have an anime club would be considered cool. But now, you've got, like, samurai clubs and, eSports clubs. It's really cool. It's awesome to see the change of how like universities and just the education system in general is viewing gaming or just like competitive gaming in a sense.
Yeah. One thing I wish I could make happen for UOA esports is to consider esports scholarships. I've done some research and I've done some like looking into, asking, inquiring, and it seems like I could be wrong, but I don't think University of Auckland even does regular sports scholarships. Like, we don't even have our own rugby team. So it's going to be very hard for me to pitch like, oh, hey, maybe we should sponsor Ghost Chips. He's doing really well academically, and also, by the way, he's one of the best Street Fighter players in the world. Let's like throw him fucking overseas and make him represent the university. But it's very hard, I think, to pitch that to someone that might not understand gaming culture.
Yeah.
But I hope before I graduate, I can at least have something along those lines happen. Like what happened with Tiny Josh, right?
Yeah.
We like paid for his nationals entry fee, and he represented the club really well. Yeah.
Bro, I remember trying to start like a gaming like weekend thing back in my old high school, and so there was going to be like a racing game, an adventure game, and get this, they were happy with every game title except for the fighting game. They thought it was too violent. And now look. Yeah.
That's disrespectful.
Yeah. Oh no, we'll take, yeah, we'll do racing games, we'll do puzzle solving, adventure, but we can't do the fighting games. We can't endorse it. And it's just so interesting seeing now how it's like esports, like fighting games, fucking bring it on, man.
Yeah. I used to be in a high school esports club as well, because I used to go to high school. Yeah, no shit. And and they had the whole issue where you're not allowed to have age-restricted games.
Yeah, I think that would have been a part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, but in uni it's different. But with high school, like we were only allowed to play LOL. You're not allowed to do. We weren't allowed to do CS. I think because it had like a rated T for teens, like R13 thing.
Yeah.
I think they did Fortnite and Minecraft as well because that's what kids do nowadays. But yeah, that was the problem they ran into. So maybe you guys had the same thing.
Yeah, actually, looking back at it, it could have been that as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even with the shooting game, I think it was kind of well, it was similar to kind of Fortnite, very kind of cartoonish.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Well, you've already mentioned the scholarship thing, but what's another thing you want to accomplish for UOA eSports to kind of leave your mark on that entity?
I really hope fighting games still continues even after I graduate, because I don't graduate. I'm graduating really soon now. I've got one more semester if I don't botch anything these exams. If fighting games continues, and let's say like StandingFierce still gets to use the university rooms, I'll be really, really happy, because I think it goes a long way for both teams, kind of like, yeah, both groups, you know? Like StandingFierce gets a really good area to like put their brand and fighting game stuff into, and the University of Auckland Esports Club also gets something really reputable happening within the club too.
And
so,
hey, you know, it always helps with people like you that kind of extend that that helping hand, you know. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And with the expansion stuff too, because you've done some, you're tied in with expansion as well. Not many people may not know that when they first meet you. Did you reach out to Jackson, or did you just kind of, how did that happen?
So I saw, this was before lockdown, I think, or a little bit, no, I think it was before lockdown, the first ever lockdown in Auckland, where I saw he was looking for help on Twitter, and I was like, yo, I want to apply, I want to do more stuff for fighting games. And I applied, we got in contact, and I think what we said was, I'll advertise Tekken stuff happening on the UOA Esports Discord, and they'll advertise the DragonBall stuff happening on my Discord. And then I think lockdown hit, and then it became very hard, I think, to maintain what was happening, because there was a lot of stuff happening within the club and within my studies that I was trying to keep on top of.
Yeah.
And I think Jackson was also trying to stay on top of what was happening in his life with COVID too. And so I haven't been able to do much for expansion yet. I do have like a project, like a surprise project that I haven't told Jackson about, that I am working on, and I think he'll appreciate it once I finish it. But I don't want to tell him yet. It's like a sort of a surprise.
Okay.
But expansion, they've done a lot for fighting games in New Zealand. The Jackson's a really cool guy. Like, I really want to meet him someday. Maybe one day I'll fly to Wellington if I graduate, and like just say hi and play fucking Street Fighter with him.
Yeah, honestly, I never knew much about Jackson or talked to him much before kind of reaching out and telling him like, oh, I'm going to get some expansion people on the podcast. He's a very chill dude, like very chill, like uncomfortably chill. Like even during lockdown, I'm thinking like, this is probably a time where we can try and like, expansion can do some things, and he's just like, yeah, you know, we'll just if it happens, it happens. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's amazing, dude.
Anything that promotes the FGC, they're always wanting content, man. So whatever ideas that come out, you know, he's always keen to promote it.
Yeah. I initially when I joined, we were thinking about making a Discord bot that would work with the server so that you could sign up for Taken just by like inputting a command on Discord. And I tried my hands on that because I'm doing computer science. But I made progress, but I was only able to pull data from the challenge API. I could never manipulate any of the data coming through it, and I'm not sure why. I still don't know to this day why I can't. And so from there, I told Jackson that I was struggling because I couldn't figure it out. I really couldn't.
Just couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. Like my brain was too small. And then there was another guy. I think his name is Lewis, who has expertise in software.
Yeah.
And he said he would help. But I think I got incredibly busy because that was this semester. And going back to university, this semester was probably one of the hardest I've ever done. Ever in university. Just because of the wishy-wash and from every week I had 2 assignments to do. Like that's so fucking much. I could barely do my own things. Yeah.
I don't want to turn the conversation sad, but one thing I don't miss about student life is living cheap. Are there things that you're going to miss once you finally graduate?
I'm not gonna miss much. Like I remember I couldn't afford. Well, it's not because of student life. It's because of my own irresponsible spendings as well. I went to Japan at the start of this year, which is the thumbnail of this podcast, and I borrowed a lot of money. I borrowed a lot of money to go to Japan. And my understanding was, oh, yo, when I come back to New Zealand, I'm gonna work. I'm gonna pay all these people back that I borrowed. I'm gonna make sure that like I treat them to dinner as well. And then, fucking boom, lockdown.
Little do you know,
I can't
man.
work anymore. Yeah, I can't work anymore. I can't pay them back. And they're really understanding about it. They're like, oh yeah, this is all good. Just pay me back whenever.
Oh, that's good shit, man.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Like with student life though, I've been skipping out on a lot. I've been skipping, like I would skip lunch. I would only eat dinner if I was at university the whole day, just to save money. Like,
Yeah.
it's not cheap. It's not cheap. And then busing is also, I pay 50 a week to go to university. And back, yeah.
Shit, man.
Yeah. But it's calm. We're nearly out of here.
Yeah.
If I don't fail, yeah.
Not long, man.
Yeah.
And there's also the other project that Expansion are spearheading, and then B-Rolls, I think, is kind of up the front spearheading it. It's the, I don't even know what you call it. It's like the education program where they're trying to offer some kind of eSports tuition, like a school program where they can educate kids, but it's also to better inform parents. Like there is other sides to eSports and competitive gaming. I think it's a really great initiative, and it finally bridges that gap between, like, you look at unis doing their gaming stuff, and then you bring it back to school. It'd be cool to actually, when kids start school, they can actually kind of start their creative gaming career.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I think it would help a lot with misconceptions that parents may have with video games. I remember when I was working, because I was working at Armageddon for Ping Zero, there were a lot of parents that were like, oh, I don't let my kids play fucking video games. This is one of the few times I let them play. And I'm just like, video games don't destroy people's lives. Like, there's a lot more to video games than just an addiction. It's a way to socialize now. It's not something you just do at home alone. You can actually make a lot of good friends and meet a lot of good people through it. You can build on your own, like you can become more confident as a person through video games. There's so much benefits to video games and esports that just people not our age don't understand yet. And I think that this whole program that Expansion is doing will really help bridge the gap between parents and their misconceptions of esports and what esports is actually about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think, personally, with parents, some of them do see gaming as, it's only convenient when it concerns them. You know, like, oh, I need to go out and grab some groceries. Oh, no babysitter? Oh, that's okay. He's playing his Valorant. He'll be occupied for an hour and a half. But then when it means more to the kid than the parent, then they start to take issue with it. I saw this clip on Twitter where a father was asking his young kid to take out the trash, and then the kid was like, oh, I'm playing online, can it just wait 10, 15 minutes? And then the father speaks to the camera saying, see here, parents, this is what we call an online game. He can't pause it, so I'm giving him time to finish his game. I was like, what a legend, man.
That's pretty good. Yeah. I was wondering like, because I didn't know what you were gonna say. Like, oh, maybe he's gonna like bash his kid or something. Like, you don't want to see that really on Twitter.
Like they can understand online
Hmm.
computer-wise, but then when it comes to gaming, you say online, they just like, as you said, that there's no, they just don't know.
Yeah. It took me a long time for me to explain to my parents that like, hey, like this is an online thing. Like I'm actually with other people. Like it's not something I can just pause and AFK. Because I was playing online games from a really young age. I think from like, how old was I? I think 11 or 12 was when I first started playing like on proper online games like constantly. And I remember my first online game, like proper online game, I think was League of Legends. And like I think I AFK'd a couple of times because my mum was like, "No, you have to do it now," and I got banned. I got banned for 3 days, and that's when I learned like
Shit.
it was a good thing. Like I learned like you're not meant to AFK in online games. You're meant to like sit down and actually get your shit together and like play with these people and not waste their time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah.
Could you see yourself, like, if you had the choice, would you want to join in on this initiative?
I could, but it would have to be probably after this year.
Yeah.
Because of COVID and probably pitching it to, because obviously this is targeting a younger demographic, right? Like primary, intermediate, and at least in my areas, it's a lot. I think I can see this being a lot harder to pitch versus maybe some other ones.
Yeah.
Just from how, I'm trying to say this as nicely as I can, but like
No,
just
go
from
ahead.
how pretentious some adults can be.
Yeah.
With video games and like, oh, it's gonna ruin our reputation, like, fuck that kind of thing, I think if I was to jump in on this, it would have to require my full undivided attention, just so that I can ensure that this is working as intended and is benefiting the kids versus like detrimenting their chances of ever having this happen to them like in the future for another school.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to do this sort of thing, you got to do it once and you got to do it right.
Yeah, that's true, man.
Yeah.
Just maybe the final question before I wrap up.
Yeah. Well,
Any projects that, not just the expansion, but just in general, are there any projects or things you want to do in the future?
I did finish one project very recently, so I'm like kind of chilling now. I think the expansion project with the Discord bot, I really want to finish it this holiday. Like, I will go seek help from people elsewhere just so I could fucking finish it, just for my own sanity, because it's just sitting on my computer. And I ran it like a month ago. I was like, oh, I wonder if it still works. And it doesn't even fucking work anymore. So I want to finish that. And then, yeah, like, I think that's all I've got so far on my plate. My parents and I bought a boat, and the trailer was really rusty, so we rebuilt another trailer using the old trailer as like a template. So we just finished that. So I'll be fishing a lot these breaks as well. I'm really excited for this break.
That's good, man.
Fishing. An FGC fishing trip. I'm really might pitch it to Dave and maybe whoever else wants to jump in.
What are you hoping to catch, man? Want to catch some kawai? Get some I don't know, turkey, snapper?
We'll start with snapper, and then we'll see if there's any skill gap between the players and fishing. Like, we can look for any bigger catches like kingfish or something.
Oh, that's good shit, man. All right, we'll get into the final segment now, bro. So you ready?
Mm-hmm. Cool.
All right.
What's the segment?
First up, if you wanted to make the weakest team in Dragon Ball FighterZ, who would you choose?
Goku Black, Nappa, and Videl. I think Videl's still got hot garbage. Yeah.
Videl's hot garbage?
I think so, yeah, hot garbage.
Shit, okay. Milk tea or milk juice?
Oh, milk tea.
Milk tea, yeah.
Yep.
But with bobs in it as what, bubbles in it?
Yeah, bobs. Yeah, boba. You need the boba. It's not milk tea otherwise.
Yeah. Alright, rank these classic Dragon Ball Z enemies from 1st to 4th. Boo, Cell, Frieza, Vegeta.
Frieza number 1, because that's how the Super Saiyan saga happened. Cell number 2, because I really liked Teen Gohan. Vegeta number 3. The reason why it's not that high up, even though Vegeta is probably one of my favorite Dragon Ball characters, is because I felt like that whole fight and the build-up was a bit too slow for my liking.
Yeah.
And then boo number 4 because there was no clear direction with who was going to take out the whole thing. It was just a big, messy build-up kind of thing, you know?
All right.
Yeah.
What's the craziest thing you've seen happen at the University of Auckland?
What is the most craziest thing I've seen? I think the craziest thing I've seen happen was, so there's halls, right? There's university halls where people stay at. And there was a student vomiting off of a balcony. I just saw it fall down like constantly, and I was like, "Yo, what the fuck? This is nasty."
Wow.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Hopefully no one
Yeah.
got hit by that.
I hope not.
All right. Should the Shenron summon time be shortened or lengthened?
For Dragon Ball Fighters?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it should just stay the same. Like, it's not meant to be like a core gameplay mechanic. It's just meant to be like a fun gimmick. It's not meant to be like a useful thing. Yeah.
Right. What advice would you give to people who wanted to join an org?
Make sure that you're doing what you're passionate about, and make sure that you've done things beforehand that can kind of prove how hardworking you can be. Because if you join an org and you have nothing to show for it, it's going to be hard for them to like consider to take you seriously, kind of, you know?
Yeah.
And that way they're also a lot more understanding if like circumstances happen where you can't pull through. And yeah, that would be my advice.
Nice, man. All right.
Yeah.
Super Saiyan Blue Goku or Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta?
My problem with Super Saiyan Blue is that it came from Super, and Super did not do any justice to anything. So this is a rough one. I think Super Saiyan Blue Goku, he did a lot more stuff than Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. Do you think the government would ever put money into sustaining esports? I'm not talking about like starting it up as one thing, but I mean sustaining it, like continuing. You know, it's one thing to start up a campaign, a program, but then to sustain it. Yeah.
Maybe a lot later down the line, like what we do with stadiums. Like, let's say we got our own esports stadium in New Zealand someday. Like, I can see that happening, but for now, not for the foreseeable future.
All right, man.
Sadly.
In time, hopefully.
Yeah.
How would you like to be remembered in the NZFGC?
I guess just like a really cheery guy that like really liked fighting games. Like, I think that's the best way to be remembered for any kind of thing you're passionate about. Just like a happy guy that really loved what he did. You know?
Decent answer, man.
Yeah.
And finally, Andreas, Pablo, who is your waifu? Yep, it's go time.
So I used to play a lot of arcade games. So I'm gonna walk to it as well, just so I can point it.
Yeah, sweet, man.
Oh shit, I said my laptop. This girl here, her name is Rem. Rem is best girl, best waifu.
Rem.
Yeah,
Okay.
Rem from ReZero, yeah.
Oh, yeah, sweet. Oh, and,
Yeah.
and also shout out to the Dragon Ball shirt as well. You mentioned it before as well. The Dragon Ball shirt, nice, man.
Oh yeah.
Sweet, man. Hey, thanks again so much, man, for coming on.
It's all good.
Do you have
this
any?
was a lot of fun.
It's been great, man. Do you have any last words or shout outs for your people?
If you guys want to play fighting games, like, just jump into the UOA eSport Discord. We do a lot of tournaments. We're probably going to do a ton more once exams are over, which are like around 15th, 18th November. So if you guys are interested to play a lot of Dragon Ball or Tekken tournaments, just jump in there. If you guys really like Tekken-based stuff, join Expansions Discord. They do tons of Tekken tournaments every week. They have like a big prize pool at the end of every month. Jackson's also really, really cool. You'll love the guy if you ever talk to him. And yeah, I guess that's it. Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Oh, follow my socials if you guys care about that shit. Join the other ones. The other ones are way more important. Yeah.
Sweet.